It's no secret that starting a business is hard. Even if you have an amazing idea, bringing it to life can feel overwhelming. With HubSpot's new entrepreneurship kit, though, you can go from idea to IPO with the help of a company that knows a thing or two about growing better. The all-inclusive kit gives you step-by-step guidance and frameworks to help you crush every stage of starting a business, with tools tailored to help all along the entrepreneurial journey. It's packed with templates for project management, email, and skill development. Wow, that's a lot of templates. There's also a solopreneur guide. It's got freelance pricing worksheets and lots more you can get up and running immediately. And best of all, it's free. With expert guidance and frameworks from HubSpot, starting a business doesn't have to be so hard. So don't wait to start yours. Go to HubSpot.com/ENT to download the guide right now. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Tuesday, August 13th. I'm John Weigell with Sara Friedman, and this is the Hustle Daily Show. Superfest, a German glassware company, invented a seemingly unbreakable drinking glass in the 1980s, and they had no idea just how unbreakable it actually was. As annoying as broken glass is, this company's downfall may have been that their glasses just didn't break at all. Now, another company is trying to innovate in the same exact way. So how's it going to play out this time around? We'll get to that in a bit, but first let's give you the hits and headlines today in business and tech. Starting first with China's Weigell, the autonomous vehicle maker. It's eyeing a $5.02 billion valuation for its U.S. IPO and will raise anywhere from $96 million to $113 million. Next, over to Chuck E. Cheese. Chuck E. Cheese is finally offering a subscription program. Hooray for me. Their cheapest tier is about $8 a month and includes 40 games and 20% off food and drinks per visit. So if you're looking to add anything to your Discovery, Paramount, Netflix bundle, this could be it. Over to food. Impossible Foods opened its first restaurant at a Chicago food hall today to try to show customers that its plant-based products are actually pretty good. Or as CEO Peter McGinnis put it, not like, quote, a warm beer. Sara, what do you make of this opening for Impossible Foods?
Yeah, I mean, saying it's better than a warm beer doesn't set the bar very high, but I think it's interesting that they're moving into brick and mortar. The brand is shifting away from focusing on just the environmental impact around its product. And instead, this is part of a bigger shift towards just focusing on the brand itself. They rebranded the packaging and they're saying that they're trying to just attract meat eaters now. I think they're trying to position themselves as a brand just for brand's sake, rather than kind of saying you need to be vegan or do it for the environment. They're trying to say instead, like, this is just good food. You can come and enjoy it like any other restaurant. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. So I'm interested to see if this starts moving the needle on alternative meats, because we've seen this category struggling for quite some time now.
Definitely. And yeah, I'd also like to see what their menu looks like as well. If it's just going to be your normal Impossible Burger, or are they going to do like an Impossible filet mignon? Really, it's up to anybody to decide. Okay, in some health technology news, researchers just unveiled a new inexpensive bandage with an electric field around it that healed wounds 30% faster during animal testing. So Band-Aid may have to watch out for the first time in its lifetime. And finally, Molson Coors' ice-cold Silver Train is at a big derailment risk right now. The parent company behind Coors Light saw sales drop 1.5% year over year in its latest earnings report, and that's not good for the beer industry. Okay, on to the main story today. Unbreakable glass is a thing of fable for many, but one German company actually achieved that feat back in the 1980s. So why haven't any of us really heard of them? So Sara, could you tell me a bit about Superfest, this company, and what exactly they set out to accomplish?
Yeah, so in the 1980s, they invented what they were calling an unbreakable drinking glass, which was almost entirely true. They were manufactured to last 5 times longer than normal cups, and they ended up actually being 10 times stronger than your average drinking glass. So they were pretty near unbreakable. The pioneering tech that they were using, they were replacing sodium ions with charged potassium ions, and that created more tension in the glass's surface, which pretty much prevented it from cracking unless you were trying very, very hard. So this was pretty effective. And today, The glasses are very hard to find. The company, spoiler alert, goes under, but they are selling on places like eBay and Etsy for $38 a pop because, as many of us know, our glasses today break very easily. So this tech is no longer around.
Yes, especially not in IKEA, I will tell you that much. So this company, Superfest, I'm surprised that I've never heard of them, considering that this invention of an unbreakable drinking glass seems very impressive to me. I'm kind of surprised that they no longer exist or they went under. So why did that happen?
Yeah, a few problems. Namely, honestly, they were too good, which we don't see often as a reason for a product to go under. But it turns out that if you are a manufacturer of glasses, it's actually good for business when people break their glasses and need to replace them. So if you buy a set of 6 glasses and get to keep them for decades, that's not great for business. So that honestly was one of the main reasons that they weren't turning a profit in the way they needed to. But also they were kind of ahead of their time. They had a very minimalist, sleek design, and people were often looking for something covered in gold or more ornate or engraved. So it just wasn't catching on at the time. And ultimately, both the company that invented that proprietary tech for unbreakable glass and Superfest went bankrupt and ceased production.
Both of them together.
Yes. So.
Wow, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So no one has been using that technology outside of that company since.
I mean, I guess it makes a lot of sense that people often buy new glasses because theirs just break and there's like a lot of wear and tear in the process. And this company, although they've created such an impressive product, it looked like that didn't really make them a lot of money in the end, which is kind of sad. It kind of reminds me of the iPhone, how we've been talking about indestructible phone screens forever. And I believe there have been some Samsung devices that have done it. And they just haven't decided to do it yet. And I'm pretty sure I know why.
Right.
Because it would kind of destroy the whole, like, you break, I fix phone industry, probably. But yeah, I mean, I mentioned up front as well that there's another company that you mentioned that is trying something like this again. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So for the first time since these original companies were working on unbreakable glasses, there's a Berlin startup called Soul Bottles, and they are bringing this technology back and innovating on Superfest's glass-making tech, picking up where they left off. And so far, they're doing well. They've raised $274,000 in crowdfunding, and they offer engravable, customizable glass water bottles that they're saying are, again, very hard to break. So a similar idea here, slightly different type of glass. It's more of a reusable water bottle, which is really popular nowadays. So that makes a lot of sense. And they're also pivoting a little bit and trying to be more sustainable even than Superfest was. And they're using a more easily recycled glass and hoping to kind of capitalize on the fact that today's consumers are very interested in being environmentally conscious. Unfortunately, it is hard to both use a glass that can be more easily recycled and is a little bit greener and keep it as strong. So there will be a little bit of a trade-off there, but they're saying that it is much more effective than kind of your standard glass reusable water bottle.
Yeah, and that's a nice change considering that they took this model of a drinking glass and switched to water bottle. I feel like that would be extremely profitable in today's market where water bottles aren't exactly cheap either, and they're sold in most major stores. So that really makes sense. Do you think that it's going to do quite well?
Yeah, I mean, so far, the prototypes withstood 6.5-foot drops without smashing, which I think that sounds good to me. Even if you're a very tall person, you could drop your water bottle and it would be okay. But no, I mean, we have written about the Stanley cups and I think probably many other water bottle crazes. Like, we have seen that these things can go very viral and that people take to them quickly. So I think knowing what we know about young consumers wanting to be green, a reusable, unbreakable glass option that doesn't leach any dangerous plastic into your water, I could see this being really popular.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing this all over my TikTok page coming very soon.
Exactly.
All right, that's going to do it for us today, everybody. Thanks for tuning into the Hustle Daily Show. We're a proud part of the HubSpot Podcast Network. Our editor today is Robert Hartwig, and our executive producer is Darren Clark. We've got a lot more tech and business coverage in our newsletter. If you're not subscribed, go get yourself signed up at thehustle.co/email, and we'll see you later. Hey everybody, I've been listening to this awesome podcast lately called Entrepreneurs on Fire. It's hosted by John Lee Dumas, and it's available right now on the HubSpot Podcast Network. Entrepreneurs on Fire stokes inspiration and shares strategies to fire up your entrepreneurial journey and create the life that you've always dreamed of. It offers lots of energy, value, consistency, and it's for anybody who wants to learn more about entrepreneurship. It's super fast-paced and packed with valuable stories about entrepreneurs, their aha moments, their failures, and everything to what's working for them today. Recently, he had on this guest, Ashley Stahl, who talked all about her job at the Pentagon and how she evolved into becoming a top 100 TEDx speaker. She talks about evolving your brand from the ground up, leaning into the skills that you already have to build your brand, and also creating virality. It's a great listen. You should check it out. And you can listen to Entrepreneurs on Fire wherever you get your podcasts.